Thank the gentleman from yielding. Director Watt, I was pleased last year when you delayed your predecessor's decision to raise G fees. And as you know, your predecessor wanted to raise G fees even more in 4 states, one of which was New York. And New York and the other 4 have particularly strong consumer protections for foreclosures. And this would have needlessly harmed New York's economy and would have discouraged states from enacting stronger consumer protections. I think this was an important decision. We should be rewarding states that put strong consumer protections in, not penalizing. Now of course, what I'm hearing, the markets are telling me, or some of them, that they anticipate a possible decrease in the G fees rather than an increase. So can you just give an update on your review of the G fees in general, and do you anticipate that they'll be going down and not going up? I mean, that's what I was told. So
I don't know where that information would come from. We're still in the process of evaluating the input that we got in response to a request for input from the public on this issue, and we anticipate making a decision hopefully by the end of this quarter. It may slip into next quarter, but we're going to make a decision, and then we'll justify and outline the reasons for that decision. I don't think I have any information about whether they are going down, going up, risk-based. Might have some adverse impact on some of the states that you're talking about. But at this point, I think it would be premature to talk about what that result will be, because I don't even know what it will be. We're in the process of evaluating it.
Well, in your deliberations, I hope that strong consumer protections for foreclosure are considered a plus, something the state should be rewarded for. I have another question. Director Watt, we've heard a lot about the Housing Trust Fund and the Capital Magnet Fund, some of which has been critical. But of course, we know the facts are that the Capital Magnet Fund has already had one successful round of funding in 2010, and it was a huge success through a public-private partnership model. $80 million in funding from the Capital Magnet Fund was turned into $1 billion for affordable housing, and I congratulate this effort. Now with your decision to start funding for both the Housing Trust Fund and the Capital Magnet Fund, there will be hundreds of millions of dollars for affordable housing every year. Can you talk a bit about the impact that you expect this funding to have on the affordable housing crisis that our country is facing? And can you talk a little bit about the public-private partnership that emerged to help magnify the money, and are you looking at more public-private partnerships, just in general, where this program is going for affordable housing?
Representative Maloney, to be quite honest, I didn't take any of that into account. Those are policy decisions that I think are legislative decisions, congressional decisions, and we don't have any control over, at FHFA, over the use of these funds. Those decisions are actually made at Treasury and HUD. Our decision related only to whether to fund it or not, and applying the statutory criteria to determine whether it should be funded or should not be funded. And so we didn't look at the use of these funds. We didn't look at the history of I'm not even sure I knew that there had been
Thank you for clarifying.
Project.
Thank you for clarifying. I'd like to ask you about the risk retention rule. As you know, the final rule inadvertently failed to exempt Freddie Mac's multifamily securities, even though it did exempt Fannie's multifamily securities. And I understand that FHFA is working on a possible solution for this already. Can you give us an update on these efforts?
The risk retention rule was not done by FHFA. That was a joint rulemaking process. So I'm not sure that we're looking at anything that's going to. But
the fact that it had inadvertently failed to exempt Freddie Mac's multifamily securities, even though it did exempt Fannies, multifamily securities. They should be treated the same. That's a,
Well, I would hope that whatever rule comes out would treat both Fannie and Freddie securities the same. That's what we're trying to work our way towards in the single security.
Thank you.
Certainly
My time has
supportive of
expired.
that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Time of the